Hello and welcome. In this video, we will learn about the while loop. Okay? Loops in programs are used to repeat a block of code again and again. And when we talk about the while loop is used to repeat a block of code again and again until a condition stays true. Okay, let me take a small example and explain you how the while loop works. Alright, so here I'll say int a is equal to 0. So I'm fixing the value of a. Alright, a is 0. And next I'll use a while loop. The syntax of while loop is this. Okay, while keyword, and inside brackets goes the condition, and inside curly braces we will be having statements. Okay, so now let me write a condition here. I'll say a less than 5, and here let me say C out and hello world. Okay, hello world. Now what we are basically saying is until. Okay, until, so think of while as until this is true, do this. That is what we are saying. Okay, so let me run this, and you can see I get hello world infinite number of times. Let me stop this before it runs out of memory. Okay, now let me tell you how it begins. We have said a is equal to 0. We have fixed a as 0. When the loop runs for the first time, it will check whether a is less than 5. 0 is less than 5. This is true. And since this is true, this will be executed. Okay? And after this is executed, once again it will check if a is less than 5. We have fixed a as 0, so 0 will always be less than 5. So when it checks for the second time, this comes out as true, and so once again it prints this out. After it prints it for the second time, it checks whether this condition is true. Once again this is true, and so once again it prints it out. So it will keep on checking if this is true and print this. So this will be repeated again and again until this becomes false. Since we have fixed the value of a as 0, this never becomes false, and so it will keep on printing hello world until the computer runs out of memory. Okay, so this is how the while loop works. Until this is true, this is done. Okay, this is done. Okay, now let me modify this a bit. Alright, so here I will say a is equal to a plus 1. Alright, a is equal to a plus 1. So here let me change it to 3. Alright, let me change it to 3. I'll run this, and you can see I have hello world 3 times. So here let me add endl. Okay, let me add endl so that it looks neat. Okay, hello world 3 times. Now let me tell you how this works. We have fixed the value of a as 0. When the loop runs for the first time, it checks whether a is less than 3. 0 is less than 3. And since 0 is less than 3, it prints out hello world. So this first hello world is the result of the while loop running for the first time. After that, what we have written is a piece of code to increment the value of a by 1. So what we have said here is a is equal to a plus 1, meaning a, which is 0, will become 1. So this is a. When the loop runs for the first time, value of a is 0. So 0 plus 1 will be done. How much is 0 plus 1? 1. So 1 will be the new value of a. Okay, 1 will be the new value of a after the loop runs for the first time. Okay, so let me change it back to a and a. So after the loop runs for the first time, the new value of a is 1. Once again, the control goes here. Okay, once again, the control goes here. It checks whether the new value of a is less than 3. New value of a is 1. It checks whether 1 is less than 3. It is less than 3, so it is true, and so it prints this out again. So when the loop runs for the second time, we get hello world once again. And then when this line gets executed, a is incremented by 1. What is the value of a when the loop runs for the second time? It is 1. Correct? 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. So 2 will be the new value of a. Okay? So let me change it back to a. 2 will be the new value of a after the loop runs for the second time. Once again, the control goes here and it checks whether 2 is less than 3. 2 is less than 3, this is true, and so this is executed. And when the loop runs for the third time, the value of a will be 3. Once again, the control goes to this and it checks whether 3 is less than 3. 3 is not less than 3. This comes out as false, and so the loop stops here. Okay, this will not be executed. Since this comes out as false, this loop stops, or this loop is terminated. It ends here and the control goes to the next line, whatever you type here. Okay, so let me have a line here, C out, and I'll say end of loop. Okay, end of loop. So I'll run it and you can see after the loop runs 3 times, we get end of loop. Okay, we are not getting end of loop every single time. Only after it runs 3 times and only when it becomes false, we get end of loop. Alright? Yes. So this is how a while loop works. Okay? Until this condition stays true, everything in between the curly braces will be executed. Okay? Yes, I hope it is clear. Now, let me take an example. Okay? I want to print the multiplication table of a number. Okay? I want to take this number from the user. I want to take this number, the first number, from the user, and then display the result. Alright? Let us use a while loop to achieve this. So here I will say int num. Okay? And I am not assigning any value to it. Next, I will say int count is equal to 1. What is this count? The count is this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have to increment this again and again, correct? 1 by 1. So initially I am setting the value of count as 1 because it is from 1 we start the multiplication table. So count is equal to 1. Alright. So this is done. Next, I will display a message, Cout. I'll say enter a number. Okay, enter a number. And I will take in the value and store it in number. Okay, num variable. I'm storing it in it. Alright. Now, let us write the condition. While count, okay, while count is less than or equal to 10, while count is less than or equal to 10, what do we want to print out? We want to print the product of the number that the user has entered and the count value, correct? So let us do that. Here I will say, let this be NL. Here I will say num, okay, into count. Let me give space here to make it more readable, okay. So see out num into count and then new line, alright. And after that I am incrementing count by 1. Why do I have to increment it by 1? Because here you can see the value of count incremented by 1, okay. So 1, 1 plus 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 plus 1 4 and so on, alright. Yes, so now let me run it. I will say 5 and you can see I get 5, 10, 15, 20 and so on till 50, okay, till 50. This is the number that I entered, alright. The table starts from here, okay. So now let me explain you how this works. Num is declared, count is set to 1. I am asking for a number and I am storing it in this variable, okay. What we are saying is, while count is less than or equal to 10 or until count is less than or equal to 10, do this. That is what we are saying. So when the loop runs for the first time, the count is 1, the value of count is 1, okay, value of count is 1. 1 less than 10, is it true or false? It is true. Since it is true, this will be executed. Now what do we have here? See out num into count. What is num? Here in this case 5, the value that I entered, correct? 5. 5 into 1, count. So count in the first loop or count when the loop runs for the first time is 1. So num into 1, 5 into 1 is 5 and it will be printed, okay, it will be printed. Next, the value of count will be incremented. I am saying count is equal to count plus 1. When the loop runs for the first time, the value of count is 1. So 1 plus 1, 2. Count will be 2. So when the loop runs for the first time, at the end of it, the value of count will be 2. So the control goes to this once again. Now it will check whether the new value of count is less than or equal to 10. 2 less than or equal to 10. 2 is less than 10. So this is true and once again this is printed out. What is num? Num is the value that I entered, 5 into count. New value of count is 2. So 5 into 2 is 10 and so 10 is printed out. And at the end of it, it will be 3. The count will be 3. New value of count is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3 and count will be 3. So once again the loop starts from here. It checks whether this is true. This is true and so this will be executed and it will keep on repeating till the count becomes 11. When the count becomes 11, this becomes false and so this is skipped or the while loop ends here. Okay. So that is why we get till 5 into 10, 50. Alright. That is why we have said less than or equal to 10. Okay, I hope it is clear. Yes. Now I want to make a modification for this. I want to print out the table just the way it is here. Okay, exactly like this. I want to print. Alright, 5 into 1 is equal to 5. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. This is how I want to print it. So let us do the modification. So here I will say C out and what is that I want first? The number that the user enters, correct? So I'll say num and when it comes in between, you know that it must be between two sets of the less than symbols. Okay, so num will be printed here and I want x into symbol. So here I will have x between quotes because I want to print it out exactly as it is. So x is done. Next, what do I want to print out? I want to print the count value. So count must go here. So between two sets of less than symbols must be count. Okay, count. So done. What is that I want next? Equal to symbol. So once again, between quotes must be the equal to symbol. Alright, because I want to print it exactly as it is. Then finally, the product of this and this. And finally, we have num into count. Okay, num into count. Yes. So let me run this and check if any modification is needed. I'll enter 5 and I'm getting 5 into 1 equal to 5 and in the same pattern as we got here. Okay. Of course, the spaces are missing. Let us add the space. So let me add the space here. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. Okay. So let me run it and enter 5 and I can see I have a good looking multiplication table. Alright. So let me run once again and I'll enter 8 and I have table of 8. Okay. I hope this is clear. Now I have an exercise for you. What I want you to print is the same multiplication table but from 10 to 1. I want you to start from 10. For example, in this case, 8 into 10 must be printed first, then 8 into 9 second, and then 8 into 7. So it must go from 10 to 1. In this example, it has gone from 1 to 10, but as an exercise, I want you to get from 10 to 1. Alright? Yes. So it is an exercise for you. So go ahead and practice the while loop that we have learnt in this video. Now, before I end this video, I want to mention the do while loop. Okay? Now, let me briefly explain you how the do while loop works. So here, let me delete this. Let me delete this. Let me delete this too. Okay? I'll say number is equal to 6. Alright? I'll say number is equal to 6. And here, I'll write the syntax of do while loop. So do while loop goes like this. First comes do keyword. And then inside the curly braces, the statements that need to be executed. So here, I will say cout and I will say hello world. Okay, hello world, and I'll end it. And after this will be the while along with the condition. Okay, num less than and let me say 5. Okay, num less than 5, and we need to terminate this, end it. All right. Now here inside, let me say num is equal to num plus 1. Okay, num equal to num plus 1. Now let me run this. And you can see I get one hello world as output. Now let me explain you how the do while loop works. Basically, what the do while loop does is, it will execute whatever is in between the curly braces once before it checks the condition. Okay. In the while loop that we learned just now, okay, while loop, first the condition is checked. First it is checked whether this is true or not, and only if this is true, the statements inside the curly braces are executed. But in do while loop, it is opposite. first whatever is inside the curly braces is executed and then the condition is checked. Okay. So here you can see I am saying num equal to 6. Here I am saying do this. So this is done first. Alright. So first this is done without checking anything. First this is done. So see out hello world. So we get hello world. After we get hello world, this is executed. What is the value of num when the program runs for the first time or when the loop runs for the first time? The value of num is 6. So 6 equal to 6, value of num is 6. So here it will be 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So the new value of num would be 7. Now it will check whether 7 is less than 5. 7 is not less than 5. This is false and so the do while loop terminates. Okay, do while loop terminates. From the beginning itself, the condition was not being satisfied. Num equal to 6. Initially, num, from the beginning itself, this was false. Even then, this executed one time. Okay. So now let me change it to 1. Alright, let me change it to 1. And now let me run it. And you can see I get hello world, hello world, hello world, hello world 4 times. Okay. I get 4 hello worlds as a result. So let me add handle. Okay. So I get 4 hello worlds as a result. So num equal to 1. When the loop runs for the first time, I get hello world once. So here num becomes 2, 2 less than 5. True, this is executed, this is executed. Next, num becomes 3, 3 less than 5. True, so this is executed, this is executed. Num becomes 4, 4 less than 5. True, this is executed, this is executed. Num becomes 5, 5 less than 5 is false and so it stops there. Okay. So the loop runs 4 times here. So if you have 10 here, this condition would be false from the beginning, but still then the loop will run once. Okay. So we use do while loop when we want to do something once before the condition is checked. Alright. So this is the syntax of do while loop. Now go ahead with the exercise that I mentioned you in the previous section and get the table in decreasing order. Okay. So that's it for this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.